When addressing a broken 2-inch polyvinyl chloride or PVC conduit housing a 2400-volt underground system, several National Electrical Code or NEC articles and best practices come into play. Article 352 addresses conduits and raceway enclosures for electrical circuits. Section 352.10 subsection A states that conduit or raceway shall not be used as a substitute for a junction, pole, or outlet box where conductors are spliced or terminated. Section 352.10 subsection B specifies that conduit or raceway shall not be spliced within 1.5 meters or 5 feet of a junction, pole, or outlet box. Article 501 concerning grounding. Section 501.4 subsection B requires that metallic raceways shall be made electrically continuous throughout their entire length by bonding or other suitable means. If the system is located within a healthcare facility, Article 517 is relevant. Section 517.11 subsection A states that electrical systems in healthcare facility shall be installed and maintained in accordance with the requirements of this article, which supplements and modifies the general requirements contained in the NEC. Section 517.11 subsection B emphasizes that the installation and maintenance of electrical systems in healthcare facilities shall be performed by qualified electrical personnel. Beyond code requirements, several additional considerations are important. Firstly, splicing underground should be avoided when possible. If splicing is necessary, a conductive joint must be used to ensure electrical continuity at the splice. The splice must be waterproofed using approved materials to prevent moisture penetration. An access box may be used to allow for future maintenance and testing. Finally, the splicing work should be inspected by a qualified electrician to ensure compliance with codes and standards. Now let's discuss the process and procedures in detail. Firstly, before commencing any work, ensure the power is disconnected and the circuit is de-energized to prevent electrical shock. Verify the absence of voltage using appropriate testing equipment. Secondly, carefully excavate around the broken conduit section, providing enough space to work comfortably. Avoid causing further damage to the existing conductors or surrounding infrastructure. Thirdly, thoroughly inspect the conductors for any signs of damage, such as cuts, abrasions, or insulation failure. If any damage is found, the conductors must be properly repaired or replaced. Fourthly, select a splicing method that is appropriate for underground applications and compliant with relevant codes and standards. Common methods include using heat shrink splice kits or epoxy-filled splice kits, which provide both electrical insulation and waterproofing. Fifthly, prepare the conduit ends for splicing by cleaning them thoroughly and removing any burrs or sharp edges. Ensure the conduit ends are properly aligned to maintain a smooth and continuous raceway. Sixthly, install the splice kit according to the manufacturer's instructions. Ensure that all connections are tight and secure, and that the splice is properly sealed to prevent moisture ingress. Seventhly, if required by local codes or standards, install an access box or handhole over the splice location to provide future access for inspection and maintenance. Eighthly, backfill the excavation with suitable material, such as clean sand or gravel, ensuring that the conduit and splice are adequately supported and protected. Ninthly, conduct thorough testing and inspection of the splice conduit to verify its integrity and compliance with applicable codes and standard. This may include visual inspection, insulation resistance testing, and continuity testing. Tenthly, document all work performed, including the type of splicing method used, the materials installed, and the results of testing and inspection. Keep records readily available for future reference and compliance purposes. Regarding specific products and materials, it is crucial to select those that are specifically designed and approved for underground use. This includes conduit fittings, splice kits, and sealing compounds that are resistant to moisture, chemicals, and other environmental factors. Consider using polyvinyl chloride, or PVC, conduit repair couplings, which are designed to easily join two sections of polyvinyl chloride, or PVC, conduit. These couplings typically use solvent cement to create a strong, watertight seal. Select a splice kit designed for underground applications. These kits typically include connectors, insulation, and a waterproof sealant. Ensure the kit is rated for the voltage and amperage of the circuit. Use waterproof sealant or tape to provide an additional layer of protection against moisture. Apply the sealant liberally to all joints and connections. When selecting an access box, choose one that is rated for underground use and is large enough to accommodate the splice. The box should be made of a durable, corrosion-resistant material. Also, consider using a tracer wire alongside the conduit. This wire allows for easy location of the conduit in the future using a cable locator. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions for all products and materials used. Here are some additional points to keep in mind. Firstly, always consult with the local authority having jurisdiction or urge to determine the specific requirements for underground conduit splicing in your area. Local codes and standards may vary, so it is important to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. Secondly, ensure that all personnel involved in the splicing work are properly trained and qualified to perform the task safely and effectively. This includes knowledge of electrical safety practices, conduit installation techniques, and splicing procedures. Thirdly, use appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as gloves, safety glasses, and hearing protection to minimize the risk of injury during the splicing work. Fourthly, implement lockout-tagout procedures to prevent accidental energization of the circuit while work is in progress. This involves disconnecting the power source and applying a lock and tag to the disconnect switch to indicate that the circuit is being worked on. Fifthly, be aware of the potential hazards associated with underground work, such as buried utilities, soil instability, and confined spaces. Take appropriate precautions to mitigate these hazards and ensure the safety of all personnel involved. Sixthly, conduct a thorough risk assessment before commencing any work to identify potential hazards and implement appropriate control measures. This may involve using ground-penetrating radar to locate buried utilities, shoring excavations to prevent cave-ins, and providing adequate ventilation in confined spaces. Seventhly, maintain a clean and organized work area to prevent accidents and ensure efficient workflow. Keep tools and materials neatly stored and dispose of waste properly. Eighthly, regularly inspect the work area for potential hazards and take corrective action as needed. This may involve identifying and correcting unsafe conditions such as trip hazards, exposed wiring, and inadequate lighting. Ninthly, conduct regular safety meetings to discuss potential hazards and reinforce safe work practices. Encourage workers to report any safety concerns and provide feedback on ways to improve safety performance. Tenthly, document all safety procedures and training activities to demonstrate compliance with regulatory requirements and best practices. Keep records readily available for review by management, regulators, and other stakeholders. Also, before you begin, remember to call 811 to have underground utilities located and marked. This will help prevent damage to other buried lines during excavation. Furthermore, when backfilling the trench, compact the soil in layers to prevent settling. Settling can damage the conduit and splice over time. In areas with heavy traffic, consider encasing the conduit in concrete for added protection. Finally, remember that proper grounding and bonding are crucial for electrical safety. Ensure that the conduit and all metallic components are properly grounded and bonded according to the NEC. Failing to adhere to these guidelines can lead to electrical hazards, equipment damage, and code violations. Always prioritize safety and compliance when working with underground electrical systems. If you are unsure about any aspect of the splicing work, consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer for guidance. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with qualified professionals and local authorities to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and standards. We remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself and others. Be sure to obtain the necessary permits before beginning any electrical work. This ensures that the work is inspected and meets all applicable codes and standards. If you are not comfortable performing the splicing work yourself, hire a qualified electrician to do it for you. A qualified electrician has the training, experience, and equipment necessary to perform the work safely and correctly. Remember, safety is always the top priority. Take your time, follow all instructions carefully, and never take shortcuts. By following these guidelines, you can ensure that the underground conduit splices perform safely, correctly, and in compliance with all applicable codes and standards. This will help to protect your electrical system and prevent future problems.